Welcome, everybody, to the Montreal Expos franchise. The Expos are 76-49, 10 more wins than a season ago, and we still have pretty much like 2 months left in the season. And this has just been an amazing year. Looking at all of the overalls of all of our positions, we are like bottom third in the league. We are 27th overall. Our best position is obviously first base with Vladdy Jr. first, but our next ranking is third base with 16th, and that's Augustus Macklin. I mean, that just shows how well we are doing this year, and it has just been a whole lot of fun. And now we get to push to the playoffs and really make a big push to have the number one overall record in the NL to host all playoff games, at least all playoff series. But looking at why we are this successful, it's been our pitching, our starting pitching in particular. Bottom third as far as overall, but production, we're number one in ERA. Aaron Savale signed for a 2-year deal. He's been amazing. Alexander Santiago having a great number 2 season. And then John Means, Emmett Sheehan, and Cody Bradford all pitching pretty well. But if there's a weak link in the rotation, it's Cody Bradford. 25 games started, only 10 quality starts. On a normal team, these numbers aren't horrible. They're about a little average, below average, but you know, I think we can do better. So today we are going to move up one of our top pitching prospects and the guy who started this series as the number 1 overall prospect, and Gary Shoemaker, to make his MLB debut today. Hopefully that will give us a boost in the last month and a half of games, and he will be ready for the playoffs to really face some of these tough hitters that he's going to face, like the ones we're going to face today. Here is the lineup here for the Padres. The Padres have Tatis still, Alexander Bogaerts, who are hitting pretty well this year, but everybody else is actually kind of struggling. So we'll see what Shoemaker can do in front of the hometown fans for his debut. The first batter he faces, Taylor Walls, will swing and miss at an outside changeup, and that's his first major league strikeout on that pitch. So one out here in the top of the first inning. That brings up Edmundo Sosa to the plate, hitting .228 on the year. Hits this one high to center field, and that one is an easy fly out that time to Everson Pereira, playing in center field today. Now Fernando Tatis to the plate now. He hits one well to left field. This one's back at the track, and it knocks off of the top of the wall. Takes an interesting bounce right there. And it ends up being just a double, so it stays in the yard by literally a foot maybe. And that's his 29th double of the year. And Tatis says, welcome to the MLB. That brings up the Arubian Alexander Bogaerts, who hits a flare to left field, and it's run down by Dairon Blanco, playing in left field today. And we get out of that first inning. Here is Gary Shoemaker in the second. Here's a chopper up the middle. Addison Barger playing this one, and that one will be a single in the infield for Jake Cronenworth. Starts out the top of the second inning with a leadoff hit here, as that brings up Jackson Merrill, who hits one to left field. Blanco was under that one for the first out of the second inning. Now facing Corey Howell, a guy that's hitting below 200 on the year, and the outside changeup freezes him on the corner, and it's a called strike 3 for the second strikeout of the game. And now with 2 outs, that brings up Ramon Laureano, who was actually offered via trade to the Expos earlier in the year, and that's a line out to first base. The Expos have a 4-0 lead up to this point right now in the third inning. Here's a ground ball to Augustus Macklin, who is actually the leader at Gold Glove for third baseman. Can you believe it? Taylor Walls back at the plate now as the top of the order comes back to the plate, and that one will be the first walk of the game. Bringing up Sosa, who flied out to center field, and he gets frozen on the changeup for a called strike 3. For his third K of the game. Bringing up Tatis. That's a strike over the middle of the plate, but an excellent throw down to second, and that's Riley Adams who gets some. Adams is our best defensive catcher right now, and he shows off the arm, and it was a throw right on the money. And it's now 6-0 heading into the fourth inning. Here is Bogaerts back to the plate now. He hits one down the right field line with one out. That one will be a one-out double here to start this inning, as Bogaerts is now into scoring position. So Gary Shoemaker now facing his first runner in scoring position as he faces Jake Cronenworth to the plate. Outside pitch. It's just a soft ground ball to the right side, and that one will be an out there for Whit Merrifield. Jackson Merrill up with 2 outs. The 80th pitch of the game is going to be a grounder right back to Shoemaker, and he is pretty much flawless through 4 innings. Top 6 now. Shoemaker facing Taylor Walls again, and another strikeout for him. He's got 2 Ks on the day. That's his 6th strikeout of the evening. That brings up Sosa to the plate, and he finally gets the best of him, hitting 1-2 right center. That one gets all the way to the wall. Joe Adell plays it off of the wall, gets it to the cutoff man, and their second runner in scoring position here. And we'll see what Bogaerts can do. He's 1 for 2 with that double down the right field line earlier. And the 111th pitch of the game is going to be a line drive over Whit Merrifield's glove. And that one will score the first runner of the game. But Gary Shoemaker waits until the top of the 6th inning to allow an earned run. As that brings up Jake Cronenworth to the plate. 1 for 2 today. Ground ball to Merrifield. And Shoemaker has looked very, very good. But that pitch count is getting up to 117, but an awesome debut for Shoemaker. That's going to be the end of his day. And here is his spray chart. He actually did a pretty good job of locating pitches, and you can just see the hits that he gave up. I mean, they weren't over the plate. Maybe one was, but the other 2, one was even out of the zone, and they were all off of changeups. So that's an interesting thing to note, but that's going to be the end of his day through 6 innings as we go to our bullpen and bring in Garrett Crochet for the first time here as an Expo. And he has a 9-1 lead to play with. There's a fly ball out to left field by Jackson Merrill. As that brings up Corey Howell to the plate 0 for 2 today, and he will walk him. That's something you don't want to do. Walk the worst hitter in the lineup. As that brings up Ramon Laureano 0 for 2 today. Make it 0 for 3 on the circle changeup. He's a bit early on that. And now that brings up Eliezer Alfonso to the plate, and he will swing and miss as well. So Crochet gets through that 7th inning, and we will keep him in the game all the way through the 9th. As that brings up Jake Cronenworth to start out the top of the 9th here. Here's a shallow fly ball to short center field, and that one will be run down by Addison Barger. Jackson Merrill now 0 for 3 today. He hits one high in the air into foul territory, and that one will be run down by Amac. And now 2 down and 1 more out to get Gary Shoemaker his first win of his MLB career. And we will get it with the ground ball to Barger. Crochet comes in as well and pitches 3 full innings, and we get the win, allowing 1 run. And we get a big victory, 10-1, allowing 6 total hits. Shoemaker in his debut gets the win. And I'm very, very excited to get his momentum going into the playoffs, because he's probably going to be in the starting rotation in the playoffs as well. And we're probably surely going to make it, by the way, because we have a pretty comfortable lead in the NL East. And if we ever lost that, I mean, we'd probably be a wild card team anyway. So we end up winning that game 10-1. Diego Guerrero gets hurt for 1 to 2 weeks, so we'll keep an eye on that, because we were possibly thinking about moving him up at the September call-ups. And we end up winning 2 of 3 versus San Diego. Jose Barrero gets an injury. He's been in the minor leagues. Remember, he started out at the MLB level. We win 2 straight versus Pittsburgh at home, actually, and then we lose the 3rd. And now we face the San Francisco Giants towards the end of the month of August. We split the first 2, but then we get 1 major injury. John Means suffers a head fracture. He will be out for over 6 months. Now, if you play MLB The Show, you know that this is a serious injury. This is one of those injuries that is career ending. So this has the potential to end his career, but that's not it. Whit Merrifield also has a fracture. This time it's a fractured leg. 2 to 3 months. And just like that, in one game, we have 2 major injuries. Starting with John Means. I mean, like I said, this is an injury that I've seen careers. So I don't know what's going to come out of this, but it's just something to remember because we have a lot of young pitchers in our organization, and now we're going to have to suffice for another starting pitcher being out pretty much because Cody Bradford just got demoted to the bullpen for Gary Shoemaker, and now he's getting promoted right back to the rotation. So that was an easy one for us. Cody Bradford definitely just going to go straight back into the rotation, but I am worried about him at the tail end of the rotation. Right now, I'm not going to panic too much, but I think going into the playoffs, we're just going to have a 4-man rotation anyway. But I will make some moves here since we do have 2 injuries. Edgar Lopez is a guy that we picked up as an undrafted free agent after season number 1. He's been pretty good. And now at AAA, he's got a whip below 1. So we're going to move him to the majors just to give us another bullpen arm. And we're nearing the September call-ups as well, so we want to start thinking about that. But with Whit Merrifield being out, I'm not really sure who's going to be the starter at second baseman. Right now, it's going to be Andrew Monasterio, but I know what Monasterio is. He's going to be about a 240, 250 maybe hitter. He's hitting 246 this year, but we'll see what he does. So I decided to move up BJ Gibbs because remember last year we moved him up at the end of September, I guess in the middle of September for our September call-ups, and he actually ended up doing pretty well. So I'm going to move him up. Even though he's not hitting the greatest at AAA, he will get his opportunity here about a week early. So now we go into Gary Shoemaker's second start. And one thing I like about this is that we're playing a team that isn't very good offensively in the San Francisco Giants. So Shoemaker gets another confidence booster start, and we go up 4-0. We give him a 4-run lead, and now in the 6th inning, he gives up 3 runs. So we quickly have to go to our think about going to our bullpen, and then in the 7th, he gives up 2 base runners, and we do get out of that jam. And now on to the 8th inning and 9th inning, we bring in Elvis Peguero and finally Jamal Watson for the save. And Watson ends up blowing the save in the 9th, and it is 4-4. So we will hop into this late as Dylan Moore is on second, and BJ Gibbs, who we just moved up to the majors, is at the plate for a big-time moment here in his young career. As remember, he was a big player last year in the September call-ups. He gets an outside circle change, and he actually had good timing with that swing, and it eventually does get run down in short center field for the first out of the inning. Addison Barger to the plate. He's hitting around 260 this year. He hits one well up the middle. That one gets through. It will score that run from second, and now it is a 5-4 ball game off of the bat of Addison Barger. We do go back to the quick manage, and Jamal Watson is still on the mound, and he once again blows it. So he blows not 2 saves, but he would have got the win after that one. But he gives up another run, 1 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th. And now we move to the top of the 11th. Here is Vladdy Jr. at the plate, and he hits one well up the middle. That one sneaks through the infield. Same hit as Barger pretty much. And now it is 6-5. And now we will lean on Jamal Watson again. We will see if the quick manage goes ahead and relieves him, and they do. They put in Miguel Castro, and Castro does finish out this game. And we do get the win in this one. 6-5 here in extras. Gary Shoemaker went 6 1/3, giving up 3 earned runs. He did strike out 8 batters, so doing pretty good. And we end up getting the win as Gary Shoemaker has a couple of starts under his belt to boost that confidence. And that's really what I want to see going into, the last month of the season. So we end the month here versus the Giants and Dodgers. The Dodgers have one of the best records in the NL, and we are actually battling them for that best record in the NL. They have 82 wins after defeating us there to end the month of August. An 8-1 loss, and Shohei Ohtani got the start on the mound. And then we get to see our old friend Christian Walker. He went 2 for 5 versus his former team as well. And now we start the month of September. And one more game here, Alexander Santiago on the mound in the bottom of the 8th. He has a shutout going, but it is just 0-0, and Freddie Freeman is at the plate. We will hop into this scenario, see if Santiago can get us out of this inning. facing Freddie Freeman. That was a changeup right over the middle, and Freeman just hits it to first base. That was a lucky pitch by Santiago. James Outman to the plate, 2 for 3 today, and he swings and misses at a terrible pitch, almost in the dirt on the cut fastball. That's his 6th strikeout of the game, as that brings up Bo Bichette now playing with the Dodgers. Ground ball to second, should be an easy play to first, and we do get out of that 8th inning. So Miguel Castro comes into the game late, and that subs out Santiago. We can't finish the game because that was obviously just a player scenario, but Dylan Moore hits a 2-run home run in the 11th inning to win that game, and we do beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. So we have 85 wins to their 82. As long as we just keep on this kind of streak we're on of winning games, we should finish with the best record in the NL. Because right now, I think we're going to run away with this division. We have a 9-game lead on the Braves. It's kind of crazy to see that they're not having a down year, the Braves, Mets, and Phillies, but we're just having so much of a better year than they are. We're already about 18 games over what our win total was a year ago. Actually, it's 16 games. And we still have about, 15 games remaining or so, 20 games. And we have some award winners. How about Jamal Watson? He's second for reliever of the year this year. Rookie of the year, Bill Hedger is definitely going to run away with that. That's no question. I don't know what's up with Gold Glove, but we always seem to have one here, as Alexander Santiago is the front runner for Gold Glove for pitcher. And then Gold Glove third base is Augustus Macklin. I don't know how that's kind of possible. Like, he's not the greatest of fielders, but he has not made an error this entire year. And then Silver Slugger DH, that's something I really, really want for Bill Hedger, but it looks like he may finish second to Nolan Gorman, who's hitting for more home runs, so he'll probably get it. But right now, those are only award winners, along with Vladdy Jr., who's got the Silver Slugger at first base. But next episode, we will round out the season here as we start with September call-ups. And I really wanted to highlight Gary Shoemaker's debut and get ready for him to make his playoff debut, actually our team's debut, but getting him ready, especially with now that John Means injury. It was going to happen either way. So that's going to do it here for this episode, as we will wrap up the season next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hit subscribe, hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tinted. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side, but I'm from the east side. This how we slide, this how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.